Joining me today is the owner of this Kawasaki. It's my homeboy Scott, Chief. We call him Navy veteran.
How you doing?
And what do you think of your machine?
I love it. I mean, I actually like the green. Some people don't.
Yeah, well, that's one of my #1 things I'm gonna tell you I don't like about the machine, and that's the color. But we'll get into all that. First, let's put this thing to the paces. We want to try this thing across a few different platforms. The first one we're gonna try is on a little bit of a track we've got back here in the corner of our property. So here at the River, we've got several different areas to play on side-by-sides. We've got kind of this flat kind of track area where you can really test out your vehicle drifting and the corners a little bit. We've got just wooded trails, and then we've got some big-time mud holes. We're gonna try this in all of the above today, and I'm gonna give you my opinions on it. Quick disclaimer, I have never owned a sport machine like this. This is a 2-seater. They also make them in 4-seaters, but they're mainly for fun. All my machines are work machines. Never a machine like this, and I am in the market for one, so I'm doing my shopping and thought I'd take y'all along with me. Oh man, that's a lot of fun. Scott, you have a fun machine here.
It's awesome. It can be a lot of fun. You gotta see it in the mud.
We're gonna see it in the mud yet in this video. We're gonna get your stuff muddy. Are you ready to get muddy? Is that your muddy shirt?
It is now.
I like my boy Scott. He's a stubborn American if there ever was one. All right, so my thought is this. These things are a ton of fun. 1,000 cc's, a nice wide stance. I think this thing has 68 inches of stance and lots of suspension travel. The suspension's really great. This is a heavier machine than some of the others I'm looking at. So let's break it down real quick. I own Honda Pioneers, 3 of them. I own a Polaris Rangers. I've had 3 of those in the last year. So that's what I've owned. Those are work machines. What I'm comparing this to are the sport machines. Really comparing it to the Honda Talon, the Can-Am RC, and the Polaris Razor. So I've ridden the Talon before, but the weight on this is quite a bit more than the other ones I'm comparing it to, and I think that creates a little bit more body roll in the corners. I could feel it kind of rolling a little bit more in the body, but I like a little body roll. It lets me kind of know where I'm at. And I'm a total amateur, but a little body roll don't hurt me none. And these shocks are adjustable. Let's take a look. So these Fox adjustable remote reservoir shocks, they are beautiful. Take a look at these things. And with those trailing arms, look at all the suspension travel. You get 20 inches in the back and like 18 in the front. So that is a lot of suspension travel. I think it's got like 14.5 inches of clearance and an all metal skid plate. Those are all things that I really like about this machine. Now listen guys, we're gonna take it to some trails now and see how it does in some low speed trails. I'm gonna need y'all's help. I haven't ridden the other machines yet, the Can-Am or really the Razor for that matter. So give me your feedback. What's the difference between a machine like this and those other machines I'm considering, and which would you pick? Let's go try it on the trails. Okay, so now we are back on some of the trails here at the K River, and this gets pretty steep coming down this hill. Probably a lot more steep than you'd think. Nothing that's taking us out of 2-wheel drive yet. So another thing that's really gonna help when you're in big rock gardens like this is it comes with 31-inch tires. They're Maxxis. They got wide voids in between the cleats, so they're gonna clear mud good, but they're also gonna help out with that 14.5-inch clearance, which I'm using right here today. So you see the travel and the distance we've got there underneath there in the big tires. One thing I will say about this machine that I've liked so far is this little button right here. It's called low. So you put it in low gear and then you hit this low button. It just goes really slow and it just walks over any terrain. Here at the River, we got lots of rock gardens like this and, well, water crossings like that back there. And like you can see behind me here, it goes quite a ways. So when you're looking at a machine like this and you've got this much water on your property, how deep your submersible level is is also important. While the air intake is up here, the actual belt is vented about seat height. So that means as long as the water's not over my lap, I know I'm safe and I can cross and play in little areas like this here. So this is what we would make our bounty hole if we ever had a bounty hole here, Scott.
Badass.
So that right there is a big, wet, long hole that goes a long ways. And as you can see, the terrain goes up really steep. I don't know if you can tell how steep that is, but steep and rocky for hill climbs up that way. And then we're up here. We're gonna go down there in that hole right now. Now, while these tires hook up pretty good, and this thing's got lots of clearance, I don't think it's ready for our future bounty hole. What do you think?
Well, I'd be willing to give it a shot.
You would be?
Yeah.
All right, man, you're up.
No.
Yeah, no.
After it's made up.
You're up, man. Give it a shot, Scott. All right, Scott. So, as you can see, this hole goes a long ways both directions. It would make a great bounty hole because you'd be able to park rigs all up in here both sides and see people try to make it.
How deep is it?
It gets real deep. Totally up to you.
This is your game.
No. You're the one with the badass machine, Scott. I'm just trying to decide if this is the machine for me.
I'm only a player.
That's right.
Should we go for it?
The answer is yes. And also I want to know, do y'all think that we could make a bounty hole out of this? I don't think it'd take much to make this thing pretty tough to make it through. That's for like true mud machines. This is, look at, I'll back it up just so you guys can see just a little bit. You can see behind me, that's like for the mud trucks. We're not gonna do that today. That's a little playground there that guys can spend an entire afternoon in.
He's scared.
Yeah, we ain't doing it in this.
He's scared.
Oh man, all right, here we go.
That was a good time.
So there it is, the Kawasaki Teryx KRX. I want to give you guys my breakdown and basically my opinion on this machine. So here's some of my favorite things about this machine, and I'm going to give you a real broad opinion right now. If you are looking for a nice cruising trail machine that's two-seater and still sporty, this might be a good choice. The longer wheelbase from the other two-seaters makes it a little bit smoother on the trail, along with the good suspension and the long travel. That is one thing I definitely like about it. Now, some of the shorter wheelbase machines might be a little bit more capable, so if you're into competition type stuff, then those might be an advantage. But this longer wheelbase, if you're just looking to relax with a friend and rip around and have some fun, it seems to do really good. When I get in one of my work machines, it's nice. You just open the door and you just slide in. A lot of these sport machines, you gotta kind of climb in, and when you're 6'2", that makes it a little bit difficult. This has a much more upright seated position, and it's a low entry, so I find it very easy to get in and out of this machine. The next thing in line is the interior cab space. It is a very roomy machine, and never once did I feel crowded or crammed or tucked in. This is something that I felt like maybe I was in a four-seater. I had lots of room. The comfort is definitely one of the huge advantages to this machine. Not only the travel, but also the cockpit. If I have to come up with a complaint about this machine, it's going to be the horsepower. It's a little bit slower than some of the other 1000cc machines out there, probably widely because of the weight, but nonetheless a little bit slower, and certainly way slower than the turbo machines on the market. The other thing is the color schemes. Right now, this green is just a little loud for me, and you know, to change that would be very difficult. They also have a blue and a white and a black machine, so there are some other options there, but for me, the green is a tough pill to swallow. Probably my second biggest complaint is just how much they lay the color on this machine. It'd be nice if they had some more subtle packages. All in all, this machine is very high on my list right now. The comfort is probably the #1 benefit. These tires don't make me feel like I need to get bigger tires immediately, although I did hear that you could put 35s on this machine from the factory, and that's a huge benefit, and certainly something I would want to do in the future. Y'all tell me your opinions. Is this the sport machine to get if you're going to get one sport machine? Or is it one of the others? I'd love to hear your opinions. Right now, I gotta say, this is a badass machine. If you wanna see more off-road videos, you go to our playlist right up here. Otherwise, we've got playlists for motorcycle videos and also all the fun we have here at my campground, the K River Campground here in Moyers, Oklahoma. Y'all, I'm excited to get a sport machine, and I don't know which one I have, but I am going to stay stubborn until I have one parked in my yard. And I hope y'all do the same. No matter what it is you're chasing in life right now, y'all stay stubborn and you make it a reality. We'll talk to you tomorrow.